COVID-19 has put a timeout on so many of our sexual activities, including real sex. But not everyone wants to hit the pause button. Finding answers on how to have sex safely in the current climate isn't without its own challenges. Take a look. Recently, the University of Georgia offered students tips on how to handle sex safely during the pandemic. The advice quickly went viral, but the university took it down from the website due to it being mocked, criticized, and ridiculed on social media. The tips were consistent with other health and medical sites across the country, but they still decided to remove the information. With 45% of the U.S. population over the age of 18 and unmarried, people will still have sex during this pandemic. So the question is, during these times, can people have sex safely? Joining me is Shan Boodram. She's a sexologist and host of Quibi's Sexology with Shan Boodram. Shan, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Ian. Congratulations. You look fantastic.
Thank you very much. Glad to have you. This is exciting. Okay, the pandemic has left some single people downright terrified about having sex, but should they be?
I wouldn't use the T word. I would definitely say concerned and extra precautious. I think that there's additional things to consider when it comes to having safe sex in 2020. But terrified is not the word that I would utilize, because intimacy still is a very important part of our lives. And so if you can find a way to safely get your dose of human connection, human contact, that would be incredible.
Let's go through some of the things we should ask about, their safety, right? If they've been out and about because of COVID, who they've been with. I mean, these things are important too, right?
Absolutely. I think that the same questions you're going to ask somebody if you're going to go to dinner with them without a mask on, if you are going to be indoors in close proximity with somebody, those are the exact same questions that you want to ask. So as we know right now, the CDC states that COVID can be transmitted mainly through air or through touching surfaces. In terms of extra risk for sexual health, there is no proof that it can be passed through genital fluids, but there is some proof that it can be passed through feces. And then obviously when you're breaking that 6 feet barrier. So that's important things to note. So if you're going to be that close to somebody, you want to know, have you gone out socially during COVID-19? What is your routine like? Are you going back to work? Have you been to a bar lately? You also want to ask questions such as, do you live with somebody who is high risk? Because you want to ensure that if you personally know that you've not been as diligent as you should be about your own health, that you're not putting somebody at risk who could possibly put somebody who could really be harmed at risk. And I think the final thing that you really want to ask that person in a subtle way, you can do it on the sly, like, it's allergy season. Have you been having like really dry eyes or a sore throat or itchy nose? Just asking that person if they've experienced any COVID-19 symptoms. And of course, have they been exposed to somebody who has tested positive within the past 2 weeks?
Okay, so you've gone through your questions. You've talked about sexual history with a potential partner. It's awkward sometimes, but you think that having the conversation about sexual history actually is sexy?
I think it's so sexy. I think awkward is whatever it is that you make it. The world is a giant mirror. So if I come to you and I'm like, okay, we need to talk. Are you sitting down? Are you somewhere safe? Is there a flashlight nearby? Obviously, it becomes a very intense, awkward conversation. But if you're really relaxed about it and you're just like, hey, I want to make sure that when we get together, we can just focus on the pleasure. We can focus on what we're there to do, whatever that range of activities is. And we can't do that if we don't ensure that we check all these boxes first. So the conversation around safe sex is to ensure the sex is better. And who doesn't want better sex, Dr. Ian?
You got that right.